onda, amigos? Hey, thanks for tuning in yet again. Thank you for hitting that like button, and thank you for subscribing to the channel. Infamous here. Y'all know where I'm at. California, baby. Just wanted to respond to the comments on the videos about how us Harley riders are buying these overpriced hunks of metal and how they're not in any way, shape, or form modern. They're not fast, they're slow, the suspension is bad on them. You know what, there's a lot to say about a Harley-Davidson, especially when you're paying up to $30 or $40,000, and people just wonder, why are you guys paying for a dying dinosaur like Harley-Davidson, or it's just a brand or manufacturer that's on its last leg supposedly, and just that. I mean, and I guess my answer is, for the same reason people buy Jordans or people buy those Yeezys. Those are, I mean, they're not my type of shoe. You guys know what I wear. I like my boots. You guys are over here judging us Harley riders. I mean, look at just about anything in the market. Look at how much some of those purses go that women buy. They're like tens and thousands of dollars. And these are purses. Same thing with shoes. It's just the cream of the crop. It's the brand. It's the history. I mean, when it comes to Harley-Davidson, it's it's more than just speed. It's more than just performance. It's not about that. When you buy a Harley-Davidson, you're looking for that American muscle, that signature V-twin sound. Just the history of Harley-Davidson, and it's also made in America, or most of it. I mean, I'm not sure about now. I know they're closing a few factories over there in India, but you know what, that's not this video. But it's the feel, it's the vibration, the Milwaukee 8 or the V-twin, whatever V-twin engine we're talking about. It's just the sound, it's the feel, it's the community. And I mean, honestly, they're beautiful bikes. I honestly believe they're beautiful bikes, and a lot of people do too. And that's why we spend the $20,000-$30,000 on these bikes, and then we still have to purchase the Harley tax, add exhaust, and just spend a couple more $1,000 on top of buying a $20,000 bike. And you know what? They're built here in the USA, so you know what, a lot of it goes, a lot of it is basically, we're supporting jobs here in the United States. We're supporting factories. We're supporting an American brand that's been around for 100 years, over 100 years. And Harley-Davidson's backed our troops. So I mean, it just, the circle comes around, And another thing is, the technology on these bikes. People, also trash talk the brand, because I mean, Harley-Davidson has tried modernizing the bike, their models. They've tried doing it. I mean, look at the V-Rod. Look at the other a Sportster that came out. I can't remember. It was like a track racer style. I mean, Harley-Davidson has tried inputting modern functions or modern parts onto the bike.
Nice.
I think that V-Rod, it was a huge undertaking. I mean, the frame, the engine itself, the R&D, everything about it. And you look at them used now, they're probably the cheapest full-size Harley-Davidsons. I mean, we're talking about maybe they're even equal with Sportsters. Some of the Sportsters out there, you're looking at about $4,000. I've seen V-Rods here in California, and usually bikes are more expensive out here in California. I've seen V-Rods go for about $6,000, low miles. I mean, just people just don't want them, and they're great bikes. I mean, I like the way they look, but they're just not. I mean, they try to keep the sound and they try to keep some of the signature of Harley-Davidson, but they're you know, they're not what Harley-Davidson consumers want. So you know what, that was a loss for Harley-Davidson. And then the FXDR, you know, they're trying to kind of get new riders. They're trying to change it up a little bit, you know, but it's just, maybe it's just the price, and maybe it's what they're offering, but I mean, that's what it comes to. And they have to pay overhead, and they have to pay health care, and they have to pay minimum wage. That's pretty much how it comes down to, because some of those street 750s, the street Harley-Davidsons, I mean, they're not in any way nice. I mean, a lot of people, if you're looking at getting into a Harley-Davidson and you're strictly on a budget and you really wanted a V-twin, I would strongly recommend, you know, skipping the street and just going with the Sportster. And my recommendation would honestly be a big twin, which would be the standard. You know, that'd be the kind of the starting point. I would strongly recommend anybody to kind of wait and just hold off on purchasing a bike until you get enough money for one of those big V-twins, because yeah, I'm not gonna get into it because then this video is gonna be a whole lot longer, but when they do something that drastic, it just doesn't sell. And they've tried it and they've done it. I mean, look at the Livewire, look at the Bronx. That's something that they were going to release, but it never came out, or I believe it was canceled now. I mean, these are bikes that they're trying to get new riders to buy into the brand, but when you have them priced at the way that you do, and there's a lot of bikes out there like the R6, the CBR 600, the you know, just all these great sport bikes that are already out there, and you can pick these bikes up for half the cost of what Harley-Davidson is asking for on their own bikes. You could go out there and get yourself a really nice CBR 600 for about $4,000, and then, you know, it's just I mean, they're trying to compete in these markets, but they also have to have a price in which they can compete.
A few moments later.
So what is it that we're drawn to, or what is it that I'm drawn to a bike when it comes to it just being a cruiser? You know what? I think it's just the seat that ties in the whole bike. If you look at the Saddlemen step-up seats, it's just, I mean, that's what I'm drawn to, that hourglass shape when you're looking at it from the rear. You know, it's got the big top heavy bosom, I guess you could say, and then you go down to the rear fender, and it's got the bags, and it's got, you know, it has that hourglass shape of a woman. These baggers, I don't know, it just appeals to me. I mean, I like them, and I'm not saying that I don't like sport bikes. I think those bikes are beautiful bikes as well. The BMW 1000 RR, or double R, whatever you call them, and the CBR 600, I really like that one, and the R6, that's probably my favorite sport bike of all three of them. Just the front end, the fairings, everything about them. I think they're beautiful bikes as well, but I don't know. I mean, I'm just, like I said, ever since I was a kid, watching Arnold, watching Wolverine, you know, I was brainwashed from the beginning as a kid, as a child, so. And I've always wanted a bike like this. and it's just, you know, it's just the lines of a cruiser that I just like, and that iconic V-twin engine. You know, it's beautiful. I like it. So, you know what? That's it. That's why I believe we're drawn to these big, heavy, beautiful, obnoxious machines.
Got a brand new house on the roadside.
Look at just look at the community. We love these bikes, even if they are overpriced. All right, you guys just stay out there, stay safe. If you guys have anything to add in the comments other than, you know, whatever I'd mentioned when it comes to Harley-Davidsons, go ahead and leave your comments down below. You guys stay out there, stay safe. Later.